Hey, it's Chronologically Gaming, the only channel that's perpetually retro because we're playing every video game in order of release. These games don't look or sound good enough for you? Just give it time because it's only going to get better from here. Welcome everyone to October 1982. We were last playing Minefield on the Commodore VIC-20, part of a double pack, City Bomber and Minefield. Let's see what is next. Coming up next is playing on the Sinclair ZX81. We're going to the United Kingdom to type in another video game. This one marks our 70th game for the Sinclair ZX81 or the Timex Sinclair 1000. This one was part of a type-in that you could get from Sinclair User, the October 1982 issue. Flip to the right page and there it is, Minefields. It is only on one page, so it wouldn't take you that long to type this one up, but you'd still have to type it up and play. Let's type it and play Minefields. This is by D.G. Lomas. Whenever you could type it in October 1982 in Sinclair User. You will not be seeing me type the entire game in, so if you wanted to see some code, sorry, you came to the wrong channel. All right, we're in. And we already died. The game starts automatically. On the left side of the screen, you try to get across the minefield from the left to the right, but very different than the last Minefield game we played. This isn't strategy or puzzle or anything like that. You're just using the cursor keys, and you just got to move the dollar sign and make it to the other side. So I'm just going to use my cursor keys and then get to the other side, and well done. You survived on Minefield 2, and we blew ourselves up in Minefield 1. This one is the 78th game we've typed in here on the show. And while this game is very simple, only one page of code from Sinclair User, like people have mentioned on the chat, this would be a really good opportunity for you to learn how to code. And there's lots of developers that, because of magazines, that's how they got their practice coding. So D.G. Lomas, I don't know what he went on to do, but this is a very, very simple game. This is literally going from left to right, and all you have to do is move the cursor keys. I don't even think the left and right cursor key works. Only up and down cursor keys, and that's it. That's all you need. So no joystick because we're playing on the ZX81. Oh, I don't think I can make this. Oh, yeah, I wasn't able to make that one across. And don't adjust your sound. This is the way the game is. There is no sound on the ZX81. We've seen one or two that made it work with some magic, but other than that, everything's been silent here. So there you go, that's Minefields, that's it. That's all the game is. Very, very simple. Of all the titles you could play right now, you'd enjoy it if you spent the time to type it in. But here on the show, considering we're basing this on every other home computer or micro that you play right now, it's low. I'm looking at half star from Chiptune in the chat and 1.5 stars from Manly. Yes, I know, it's not going to do it with only a half page of code. I'm going to say 1 star. Of all the games you could play right now on any home computer, it's borderline between like broken and bad. It's down there. Yeah, Charlie's saying 1 star as well. So that's Minefields. What is next? Let's play something on a home console. This is Mines of Minos, now released in October 1982. And also, October 1982 could also stand for something released at the beginning of the 4th quarter of 1982, because that's usually where we get some release dates. Let's take a look at the box for Mines of Minos. Hey, for the Atari video computer system, they have the whole thing written out on the front. And this is by Commodore. This is the second game we've seen by Commodore. Video Life was the only other one we've seen on the Atari in 1981. Commodore, so it's not pumping out tons of games like Activision. But cool front of the box. It is robots. You love those. And look at that creepy alien in the background. It's literally like monsters or aliens versus robots. So cool. And I really like the design of that robot on the front. Nice, well done. Oh, and the carts, that's true, Charlie. We flip it over in the back. Something terrible has happened in the maze-like mines of Minos. The smoothly running robot operation has been interrupted by an invasion of monstrous alien life forms. Of course they have. This one uses 1 or 2 players, both Atari VCS joysticks, and there's the address and information of Commodore. This one marks our 143rd game we've played on the Atari VCS, or just about to be called the Atari 2600. Lots of Atari games to play out there. What other artwork do we have for Mines of Minos? We got the crummy box. We got the cleaned up, reconstructed one. Whether it's either box, I really enjoy this artwork. Nicely done. I want to have a poster of that one. For a third-party game that's not directly by Atari, we usually don't get the best boxes. Of course, the classic Atari VCS boxes are fantastic. Usually third-party ones, and hit or miss. And there's the Atari VCS, all the switches and bells and whistles and the grill. We're going to pop in the cartridge on top. There's the Commodore cartridge. It's a little bit longer, massive than the normal cartridge you'd see, but everyone's done a different take. Usually third-party publishers for cartridges change it up, and that's kind of fun. I like that. There's another box and another example of the screenshot. Here's the manual for Mines of Minos, or the instructions. Make sure you got 2 controllers because this one is really fun to play if you have 2 people. We have lore and story. What's happening in the Mines of Minos? Yeah, chiptune, maybe we're going to get less and less black mold on the box and cartridges as we move forward here playing every single video game. But no promises. We may see more. So what do you got to do? Turn off the console, insert everything, and then here's how you play the game. You can actually use the difficulty switches to set the speed of monsters or the speed of robots and use that kind of a handicap, which is nice. There's 12 different game variations here, and it allows you to play with 2 players simultaneously. There's our gameplay. We're going to be moving a robot through the mine with the left joystick or player 1. All the monsters are going to be controlled by the computer unless you switch it up and allow a person to take over. The monsters are going to be trying to take you out, and it's a pretty simple concept. It's like an arcade maze game, top-down view. Can you get to the end, find the part for the robot, and then bring it back? Safely run over a half-dead or half-alive monster. Drying monster is safe. Oh, that's right. And some of the game modes even allow the water to flow in. You can see here from the screenshot where water's coming into the mine. And there you go. The 2-player game is a lot of fun, and that one is really what this has going for it as far as gameplay. If you can get someone to play with you, you'll be playing at the same time. There's our points. Get the high score here in 1982. There's the command center for monsters, which that's a pretty cool concept, that the command center is where the monsters are. Is that where they're coming from? But you'll be playing as the robot if you're playing as player 1. Here's all 12 game variations. Manual didn't have a lot of pictures or artwork. It's pretty much just a bunch of text explaining what it is. And there you go. You got a spiel about Commodore. It's a different kind of game company, not like the others, but may not last after 1983. We'll have to see. I know it's still puny as far as variants go. I'm with you there, Chiptune. So this one has also different variations. It could be available in PAL regions as well as NTSC. We're going to play the first in North America. It's time to play Mines of Minos. This is by Irwin Games of Comavid at sometime at the beginning of October 1982. All right, so I'm going to go with the game variation 1. We're not going to go through all 12 game variations. Hitting reset on the console, and we're going. You first play as the robot. A little bit of flicker, but I wonder if that's intentional. Notice that it's a top-down maze game, but it doesn't take place on the same screen. We're scrolling around. And it's not auto-scrolling either. I can decide when I want to scroll. As some of the monsters come after you, you use the red button on your Atari VCS joystick, drop a mine, and blow them up. Really, really cool and fun. I'm trying to get to that part at the top, which looks like an orange pixel. It almost looks like the character you play in Warren Robinette's Adventure that you need to pick up. All right, so you can see there's lots of robots closing on my position. I warp to the other side, make it there looking good. Oh, another one's coming in at the bottom. I'm going to grab my part. Now, this is game mode 1, so there's not any hazards like water that'll come. So, but you can see if I reach to the top, the maze does have a dead end. Oh, and they trapped me and got me with the part I was supposed to bring back. Does it let me go? No, it just teleported me right in, and I think that's it, because the game is over. It won't let me, it won't let me continue, so I have to hit reset and then go again. So hitting reset on the console, here we go. Oh, Powpuck, I saw in the comments, yeah, I wouldn't be that generous. There's no explosions, you're not really blowing anything up, so it doesn't change the maze. What you're dropping are essentially like proximity mines, and then it just takes care of whoever's in the vicinity. But no explosions, but I wouldn't say that's the newest concept. We have seen video games, they got me again. We've seen video games that have that. The very first one we ever saw was Warp and Warp in the arcade. It looked just like Bomberman, at least one of the screens did. All right, so I died again. I think that's it, yeah. I believe that is all. I'm trapped and I gotta reset. So gameplay doesn't last too long, you just have to stay alive. Avoid the monsters. It does. Maybe that's what the beeping is. The sound effect for the mine that you drop is pretty cool. All right, let's see if we can take him out. Got him. Oh, we gotta wait for him to disappear, though. So once the enemies die, it won't let you go to the next one. Wait, so I'm still playing. Wait a second. So whenever I die, look, I can move the joystick, but it's not allowing me to... It just makes the character wobble, but it don't move around after that. So it doesn't feel like... And I can drop a mine, but I'm not able to move anywhere. Okay, so let's do it again. Reset. Going again. But like I described how the manual was saying, this really shines when you play with two people, because the second player can control the monsters, and they can choose which ones to control. So when the monster is totally destroyed, then I can finally move past it. All right, let's get the part that we need. Let's drop another one. Yeah, I like the sound effect of whenever the mine drops. Oh, no, and another one warped right in on top of me. Did everyone see that? So there's a few cheap things with this one. It's just gonna spawn me back in and out. Yeah, it's spawning me and killing me over and over again. All right, I'm gonna hit reset. All right, we're not gonna do an infinite loop of death. That's been a theme here on the show. We die quite a bit here. So I'm looking over in the chat. I see 1 star. Oh, I'm being generous, and I see 2.5 stars. If this was a one-player only game, I could understand that, because the control on your Atari VCS joystick with the corners feels a little tight. It feels like sometimes I'm getting stuck on the corners, so not super smooth play control. But I can't fault it too much. There's not that many games on the Atari VCS that allow this freedom of movement and allow you to scroll freely through a maze like this. All right, let's take care of this one. Quickly get out of the way, and then I got another one. And see, the enemies just keep respawning. Let's see if I can make... Nope. And that was because I clipped into the corner. All right, I'm going to go again. Yeah, I'm with you, Paul. You could say below average for this. If it was a one-player only game, yeah. Since this allows 2 players to play at the same time, where one playing the monster, I'm going to bump it up just a little bit. It has a simple premise or goal. Collect the one part that you see there and then return to the beginning of the maze. Oh, Nebulous at 2.5. I'm with you there. Okay, so there you go. That's Mines of Minos. Just a quick taste of what it was like to play that one. Now, this one's an arcade maze game with scrolling, which is really good for a home console. We got Radar Rat Race on home computers. We have Getaway, that had the freedom of scrolling with the maze theme on the Atari home computer. We had Tutankhamun, that's available in the arcade, maze-like with scrolling. And then Tax Dodge on the Atari home computer. And this was all in March 1982. But on the home console world, Haunted House plays a little like this. You know, a top-down. It wasn't really a maze game, but it scrolled a little bit. And then Riddle of the Sphinx scrolled a little bit as well. And we also had the auto-scrolling game Digger Bonk that was available on the Atari home computer. Usually maze games are taking place on one screen. Now, if this was a one-player experience, just what you saw me play by itself, I'd say 2.5. But because of the 2-player simultaneous play, I'm going to say 3 stars. So pretty average of all the games you could play right now on a home console, across all home consoles. And that's right, I would say Microsurgeon would be more fun to play, because you can play that one with 2 players if you wanted to as well. But again, that's in television. All right, so I love all the comments in the chat. Keep them coming. I know, right? Yeah, that one's a really, really good one, but that was arcade only. All right, so that's the Mines of Minos. Let's see what our next title is. Now it's time to go play on the Atari home computer, 400 or 800, and this is Monster Maze. Not to be confused with Monster Maze on the TRS-80 in October 1980. This is a completely different game. Or 3D Monster Maze that we played on the ZX81, where that dinosaur's chasing you in January of 1982. And not to be confused with the one by Creative Software and Audiogenic in 1981. It's not that Monster Maze either. Or it's not the Tiger handheld Monster Maze. That's right, Tiger Electronics has handhelds, and we should be seeing one before we end the October 1982. There you go, Monster Maze. Oh man, it just looks like the front of the box like we've seen with lots of other first-person or 3D mazes. And Monster's so generic. He actually looks a little bit cute. He's not really scary like the terrifying dinosaur in the ZX81. All right, flip it over the back. You can see this one is by Epix, designed by Bob Schilling. Way to go, Bob. Animated 3D color graphics and sound. Complexity is introductory, it says here, and you have to have your Atari VCS joystick. Requires it to play. Very nice. This one marks our 365th game we've played on the Atari 8-bit line of computers. That's how many games are out there. It's amazing. Here's the cartridge we're going to pop into play, Monster Maze. I love cartridges on home computers. It makes me feel like I'm playing a game machine or a console. And there's an example of the screenshot. No chiptune. We'll be playing Tiger Electronic games soon, and I don't really want to subject myself to that either. Here's the manual or the inside sleeve for Monster Maze. The only other game we've seen by Bob Schilling has been Combat in 1981, and that was the two-player let's take turns over a phone line video game. Pretty cool. So we're going to see what he does here. Monster Maze is a 16-floor maze filled with monsters as well as gold bars and vitamin pills. Your object is to gain points by collecting gold, killing monsters, and eating vitamins. Vitamin pills also give you strength to kill the monsters. So it's another one of those, let's play Pac-Man, but from a first-person perspective. It explains how we boot it up, the difficulty level here, entering the maze and what it's like. They call it a three-dimensional maze. That's right, it's a 3D maze. We've seen plenty of those. We can even hit our red button on the Atari VCS joystick to oversee the maze and start again. They have a nice reference card here in the back explaining the controls, how to move around if you use keyboard. We have our joystick in, and I wouldn't have it any other way to play. There's the score, what we need to get, the bars, monsters, vitamin pills, and bonuses, and then what you see on the overhead view and what it stands for, because you do need to know what it is. This one has different versions. We're going to pop in and play the first one, Monster Maze. This is Bob Schilling, published by Epix at the beginning of October 1982. And this is one of the first games that is actually Epix. Like, it has it here. You can see Epix and Automated Simulations on the copyright. This one is the 38th game we've played by either Epix or Automated Simulations. Lots of titles and ports out there. I don't know what they're going for. It feels like we're listening to one of the computer disk drives booting up right now. All right, does it work with the joystick? Oh, it does. But once you get to this screen, you can't go any further. Welcome to Monster Maze. Progressive difficulty levels? Why, yes. Not that we're going to progress very far. Starting difficulty level. Let's start at level difficulty 2. And then it's going to start booting the game up for us. And we're in. Get your hand on the joystick and go. Move forward, you pick up the dots, and you make your way around the maze. Oh, there we go. Down the long hallway. We got an alert bell telling us when one of the monsters is coming. Judging by the front of the box, though, I'm not so scared of the monster. It's not like Phantom Slayer. Oh, there's one of the power pills. Look at the vitamin pill on the floor. It looks like a different dot. And you pick it up, and it says our vitamin is charged. All right, we got a monster alert, but we can take him out. We're still vitamin charged. And if you push the red button, you can see a top-down view. I'm at the very bottom as that arrow, selecting or picking up all the dashes. Now, did dashes become the new Pac-Man dot? I feel like one of the first ones we ever saw was the 3D Maze of Gold on the ZX Spectrum, where it was gold bars. And now we saw Pac-Man on the Atari VCS make the dashes instead of dots. I'm just doing a big circle here. Now we have the same, making our way around the maze. Our vitamin pill ran out. Where's the next closest one? Looks like, oh, we have one of the holes. If you look at the map, there's a 0. That brings you to another floor. So this maze is so large that there are multiple floors that you're going to be picking up the dots in. Way bigger than any of the other 3D mazes we played. It's not the first, though. We played another one called the Theseus and the Minotaur, which is a more of a role-playing game. But here you go. You can see the hole. See, you drop and you fall down the hole. Now we're on a whole new floor within a whole nother maze. It's huge. So you'd be lost around playing this, because even if you were just playing a Pac-Man game, a multi-floor Pac-Man game is kind of cool. And this is the same idea, but from a first-person perspective. I do prefer that, Powpuck. If it's something we're eating, or the motif that Pac-Man or the character you're playing is eating things, I like that better than thinking of it as gold bars or money you're picking up. Let's chomp down. Okay, we got a power pellet right there. I want to get a screen of one of the monsters. They were horrifying whenever you played on the ZX81 coming at you. All right, we got a monster right up here. There he is. And he looks like the front. I mean, the character kind of does wrong color, but you gotta give him for that. All right, let's take him out. Destroy. And he should be gone, right? Yeah, he's gone off the screen. Oh, wait, did he move? Oh, I want to take him out while I'm charged. Yeah, let's go. Let's go take him out. There we go. Now that's taken the monster out. He must have escaped us from us before. Vitamin's still charged. Let's take him out. Did he move out of the way? I've said this with our other 3D video games or 3D maze games. It's really hard to watch someone play this. It's a lot more fun when you're controlling it because since the screen's like a flip book, you kind of understand where you're going. But everyone else that's watching the screen, it may cause nausea or claustrophobia. There you go. We got another hole. Oh, that's cool. I like that. Watching the pit. And then fall down. Uh-oh. Get away. So it looks like we can run away from them. Where are we at? I'm over on the top left. Okay, so no power pellets on this side. So multiple floors. How long can you stay alive using the power pellet to knock out the enemies? And it just keeps going. It's a very long title, but it gives you a lot more content considering the other 3D maze games out there. And this one marks our action 3D maze. This is the 13th action 3D maze game we played here on the show. With 3D Maze of Gold on the ZX Spectrum, 3D Monster Maze on the ZX81, 3D Ghost Mania on the TRS-80 color computer, Phantom Slayer on the color computer was so good. I gave that one 5 stars. Labyrinth on the TRS-80 color computer, Spectre on the Apple II, 3D Man on the Commodore VIC-20, and Way Out, which was one of the first games we've ever seen that used... Oh, that was cool. It showed the top going to the next floor. One of the first games we played was Way Out that had ray casting in it. All right, there. That looks pretty cool. And there was other titles that incorporated more than just moving around in a Pac-Man style. There was the game Voyager 1, Sabotage of the Robot Ship, which was a first-person perspective, but it didn't use the joystick control. So this kind of fluid movement, being able to move, just tapping the joystick is great. Yeah, so Manly's they're on a 3-star rating. Multi-levels is what really makes this or sets this apart from the other ones. Monsters aren't scary. It's not really coming after you. So there you go. That's Monster Maze on the Atari 8-bit line of computers. Of all the games you can play right now on across the board on home computers, this is still around the average range. Very, very well done. And total for all 3D games we've seen so far, because I've split them apart. I said the games that are just a maze and you just got to get to the end from a first-person perspective, I'm calling them puzzles. But this is action. This is like Pac-Man. Monsters coming after you. But total of all 3D mazes, this is the 18th game we've played that does this perspective, and it's not going to be the end. So I'm looking over in chat. Yeah, at least 3 is what Nebula says. I'm actually going to go a little bit higher than this because this is a fresh idea, and the control with the joystick kind of outshines a few of the other ones, but not too many. There's way better action 3D mazes that you could be playing, but I'll still say 3.5 stars of every game you could play on a home computer. But that is not all. There is also 3D Monster Maze was on the Commodore VIC-20. Let's check it out. The box looks pretty much the same as all the other ones. Just slap another sticker with the VIC-20 on it, and then you have the monster in the background with the gold bars and the vitamin. Flip it over the back, looks just the same as it did on the Atari. And then the cartridge is different because it's for the Commodore VIC-20. So cool. Love the cartridges. Manual should look exactly the same, but it's just made for the Commodore VIC-20. So story's the same. Begin the game, what the maze is like, overseeing the maze, how to start again. We have our cheat sheet or reference card with the controls for the Commodore VIC-20. We're going to move around with our joystick plugged in, and then we're going to be playing with a different legend. We're the X, I believe, on this one. Let's pop in and play Monster Maze. Again, Bob Schilling, published by Epix at sometime in the beginning of October 1982. I mean, it's the Commodore. How much better is it? I'd be impressed if it really looks as good as the Atari did. All right, do we want progressive difficulty levels? Yes, we do. And we're champions now. Let's start at level 6 and see what happens. There's 8 levels, so it might be nuts. All right, here we go. We're in. Oh, the joystick works just as well. I'm picking up... Oh, there you go. The vitamin is just a flashing one. No, never mind. It's not. Everything's flashing. That was not the vitamin pill. Okay, so where am I? So I'm the green X. Let's see, we got the 0 still representing where we fall through floors. Oh, you can see the monsters move in real time. They're the red dots around the screen. And it looks like our vitamin pills are represented by pluses. All right, so let's make our way to the edge. There we go. Now we can see all the way to the end. We got a monster nearby. Yeah, over on that side. Let's see if we can pick up our power. Look at the monster. The monster's using Petsky graphics. And he's blocking our vitamin. I'm just going to walk into him and die. Does it work? Oh, it worked. We picked up the vitamin and killed the monster. I wasn't expecting that. I thought he was in front of us. The monster doesn't look anything close to what it was on the Atari. And it's even less scary, which means on the VIC-20, you're kind of getting false advertising. The front of the box has that monster that matches what's on the Atari version, but the VIC-20 doesn't have that. Oh, I do like the sound, Charlie, yeah. And if you're partial to the VIC-20, I can understand that. All right, so we got no more dots to pick up there. Let's make our way here and then pick it up there. So you can work down a pattern like you do with when you play Pac-Man. How to get through the maze and then find the hole. There we go. We just went down, so we're on the next level. And I can see where the power pellet is on the other side. So you work out a pretty good path around the monsters, where to pick up the pill. And this one doesn't have like a penalty, where when you look at the map like this, the overhead view, you're not going to lose score. It's more fun. This feels like I'm playing a true arcade game like Pac-Man, but from a first-person perspective. And I like this nice touch. When you look down at the end of the hallway, you don't just have that cross. You have a little bit of slight shading. It's kind of cool. Oh, nice, Kun. So I'm looking over in the chat. I see separation or difference between the two versions. But this is really impressive. On the Commodore VIC-20, this is great. If this was only for the Commodore VIC-20 right now, I'd say 4 stars for this one. But it has to go against every home computer out there. I love it, yep. If we had a finer rating system, I would call this one just slightly less than the Atari, but not that much. Look at that, the gap in the hole. It's just rare to see from a first-person game how you fall down. We've seen a little bit like this from a Calibeth, but that was more role-playing. This one is just like playing Pac-Man. Pick up all the wafers. Did this make people feel better when they played Atari VCS Pac-Man, that the other games had wafer-like items to pick up? All right, here we go. Let's get one of the vitamins. There it is. Look at the vitamin. Vitamin looks just like a red line. Nice. Now we're charged up. Let's go get some monsters. There he is. Oh, he's chased. He ran. He's running from us. No, I want to go back. Got him. It went so quick you couldn't even see. And kind of like I said before, when you're playing this yourself, it makes sense. But when someone's watching it, like all the viewers on the live show, it feels a little disorienting of where you're turning, which way are you going. But still fun. Very, very nice. Yeah, very cool for the VIC-20. That's awesome. So Monster Maze is yet another one of those games that is the first-person perspective or 3D maze games. This is like the 19th one of all the games we played so far. This is well done. This is an above average, I'd say, for all the games you could play right now on a home computer. Considering the 3D Monster Mania or 3D Ghost Mania on the TRS-80 color computer and 3D Maze of Gold, picking up and moving around the maze, I'm still going to say 3.5 stars. If I could compare more differentiation, I'd give it to the Atari as the better one, but just by a smidge. I'll still say Monster Maze is a 3.5 star game on a home computer right now in October of 1982. I know, right? And it's already going to start being overshadowed by the Commodore 64. So keep on trucking VIC-20 while you can. All right, it's time to put the video game playing on pause. Or hit the break key if you're playing on a home computer. That's all the time we have for Chronologically Gaming as we go through every single game that's ever been released through time. Next time on Chronologically Gaming, we're going to Japan to play on a fairly new home computer, the NEC PC 8801, and we're playing a game that plays a lot like a Sierra adventure, but Sierra has nothing to do with this game. That's it for today, and like I always say, these maze games can't possibly be any more 3D. Hey everybody, thanks for checking out the channel and joining me on my quest to play every single video game in order of release. We'll be streaming live every weekday at 9 p.m. Central, so join us and let us know if we missed any games along the way. This video would not be possible without Launchbox, RetroArch, and MAME. Tell all your friends there's some crazy guy named Chronologically Gaming trying to play every single video game. We have links down below that'll send you to places like our Discord and Patreon, and one that says all the video games we've ever played. If you go there, it's a list of everything, and you can click right to the game you want to see. Chronologically Gaming is the name to look for. We are perpetually retro, and we will catch you next time.